Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to be playing a very peaceful game like Minecraft and talking about one of the worst injuries I've ever had. Why did I choose this pairing again? Anyways, so I'm just going to have this gameplay. I'm probably going to reuse this world a couple times. So you guys can give me suggestions for what I should do if you feel so inclined. Anyways, let's get on with the story. So, I was in my gym at school, and we were learning about basketball, and I had just gotten the ball, and I was running down court. And I'm not very good at dribbling, not good at basketball in general. So what I did is I messed up, got tripped up, fell, and I landed on my hand, like my palm, and I bent my elbow backwards. And as any usual person would think, it really, really hurt. And we come to learn later that I actually did fracture my elbow. I have never broken a bone, and that is not something I strive to do. I don't know who would. But, so, let's give me a recap. So, I'm running down court as I trip up and fall, playing basketball, so I trip up and fall, bend my elbow backwards, and then it really hurt, and people saw I took a nasty fall, and so I was set onto the sidelines, and I just sat for a second while somebody got the coach. Don't mind my friend texting me. It's nothing. Anyways, so they got the coach, and I was sent to the nurse's office. And she put an ice pack, and I was in there for almost the rest of the day until I got picked up and got a temporary cast on. The next day, I went over to another place. I can't remember what it was called, but it was some orthopedic thing. No, not orthopedic. I can't remember what its name was, but they helped with breaking bones, putting casts on, common things like that. And so they examined me, and I got a cast. And I was given the choice between a cast and a temporary cast where I could actually take it off and move my arm around a bit, but I was not allowed to have one. My dad wouldn't let me. But anyways, that's besides the point. So I get my actual cast on, and I go back to school the next day. Usual, after anything different or new happens at school, everybody in the entire school is going to come up to you and ask you what happened. So I had to explain the story, and when I hit it and I was explaining the story, I heard a crack. As I figured out later, that was just my wrist popping. I'm not one who pops every bone in my body just for fun. And so I did that, and we figured out it was just a minor fracture, but I would definitely have the cast for a couple of weeks. And so during school, instead of actually going to PE, I had to sit out and just go to the library and write an essay on one of the sports books, which, mind you, there are 10 of. Like, you do those 10, then you start finding other ones. And I actually became pretty good buddies with one of the guys who had, broken his ankle? Yeah, he broke his ankle. And we talked. We talked and just kind of hung out during those times, because if you finished early, then you can go back and give your paper to the coach. I always had to do like 2 attempts because my handwriting is very, very, very bad. I have dysgraphia, which is a mental disability, which makes my handwriting a lot worse than most people's. But that is nowhere near the point. So I was having to do that, and that was very boring. And something super, super, super boring is that I wasn't even allowed to run. I couldn't run. I had to just stay calm and not do like anything physical. And I'm not into massive sports like football, but running is definitely a thing I really like to do, and I personally consider that I'm pretty good at it. I mean, I'm no Usain Bolt, but I just like running, and I'm a lot better than most of my friends, so they ever try to try me in a race, I just am really good and can knock their butt into next century. Anyways, so that just bored me, and I just did not have a good time. But enough with the bore story. I am gonna get to what happened after. So so at my school, we usually have a thing where we do this like big hoorah before spring break. Like, we have this big, like, I don't know what to call it, like what should I call it? Anyway, a big, it's kind of like a party, but we just have this, we call it, I can't actually remember what we call it now. So we have like bouncy castles and lots of fun things to do. And I was getting sad because all of them were super physical activities, like getting in a big hamster ball and rolling around and running straight towards people. But the day before this day, the Thursday before spring break, Thursday, and spring break was fastly approaching. And so I go over and do all my stuff, get my cast off. It was this weird thing. They had like this big, like, what would I call it, saw thingy, but it didn't actually like hurt. He did it straight onto my leg, but it didn't hurt. So he cut straight through and got it out. And once he did that, I was ready. I had my cast. It felt really weird. I mean, that week, it wasn't, what was it, like 3 weeks? It wasn't too hard because I fractured my non-dominant hand, but still, dominant or non-dominant, it's still very useful. And you might be like, oh, I only use my dominant hand. If I fractured my non-dominant hand, it wouldn't be hard for me. It probably would be. Most people don't realize how vital their non-dominant hand is, and I was one of those people until I lost it and could barely use it. And so we go and we get the cast off, and it feels really weird. Like, it feels so weird to turn your elbow after 3 weeks of it being locked in a still position. Anyways, to summarize, I finished it, or I got my cast off the exact day before quarantine started, and I'm very happy about that because I wouldn't like to suffer. And anyways, as I batten down the hatches for the night on this world, I'm gonna end the video too, and I'll see you guys in my next video.